Searching for this all my life. You're just my type. I've been looking for a boy who can treat me right. Your dark hair, but those eyes so bright.
Okay, hello everyone. Doing a little solo shenanigans before I head off to London. I haven't even fully unpacked from the family trip to Hawaii. And now I need to get home, finish laundry, unpack, repack, and head to London tomorrow. But I wanted to just take a moment, answer a bunch of your questions because I haven't had a solo moment here for a minute. So I will be honest, I screenshot all of the questions and sent them in and then did not look at them. So I'm seeing these for the first time. I did get a lot of questions asking why Brock was not in Hawaii with us, if we broke up, if I was done, like all of these things I remember seeing. And that's not true at all. It was a girls' trip with Opa. But someone had to stay home with the kitties. You know, we just got 3 kittens, as we know, and we're leaving now for like 5-6 days to go to London. And he was more than happy to stay home with the kitties. So coming back, though, from Hawaii, I will say it was my second solo flight with Summer. First from New York, then from Hawaii, equally as long. I don't know what happened when we were in Hawaii, but right when we got there, she has a dry cough. It was off and on the whole time we were there. But it really amps up the second we get to the airport. No fever, nothing else, but this cough. And so we're in Starbucks. I tried to get her a medicine ball, which it's like off the menu, but if you ask them for it, it's so good. It's like 2 different kinds of teas, lemonade, honey, whatever. It's magic. So I got her a medicine ball and then I asked for an extra side of honey. Apparently, I don't know if it's a Hawaii thing or a Starbucks airport thing. They didn't have actual honey. They only had this like honey syrup, which is basically sugar water, like hummingbird food. And so I was like, it's fine. I just need a little something to coat her throat. Right before she goes to sip it, she accidentally spills it all over herself. And it is sticky. Thankfully, I am very prepared when I'm flying solo, especially with her. I had an extra outfit, get her changed, wiped up, but the cough is just getting worse and people are starting to stare. And I'm like, oh my God, what do I do? This is like my worst nightmare. And then gets even worse when a girl goes, are you Scheana Shay? And I'm like, oh my God, yes, I am here with the hacking kid. Hi. Thankfully, she didn't like ask for a photo or anything. She was very nice. But I'm like getting Summer situated. The tea's too hot. I put some ice cubes in it. And the tea's too cold. I'm like, oh my God. It was like fucking Goldilocks and the 3 little bears. Just couldn't get it right. So finally, she drinks the tea. I get her a bite to eat. We then go and sit down at the gate. And I'm like, honey, just lay down. Like we had an hour until our flight. It wasn't that long of a flight that she's going to get a full night's sleep. So I want her to try and at least get this hour nap in at the gate. So I set her up. She's got her toothless pillow pet, whatever that thing's called. I put a blanket on her. She's good until she's not. And any of you parents know when your kid in the middle of the night has a cough and they wake up and they're coughing so hard that they throw up? That's where we were at. She wakes up and she's coughing so hard. She like looks so frightened. She starts shaking and I just like have my hand right there. I don't know like what else to do. Thankfully, she didn't throw up. I'm like, it's okay, honey. Lay back down. Everyone at the gate is staring at me and I'm just like, oh my God, I'm that person with the coughing kid at the airport. But like, I don't even think she's sick. She just has this dry cough. And this mom comes over to me. She was also flying solo with her 2 sons. One a little younger, one a little older than Summer. And she hands me this barf bag. And she was like, I know how it is. She goes, in case she wakes up again, you might need this. And I was just like, oh, I had tears in my eyes. I'm like, nice people do exist. Like these people probably aren't judging me. They just are like, damn, that sucks. Like been there, done that. And so before we even get to the end of the podcast, that woman gets my flowers because she was just so kind. When we got on the plane, she's like, everything okay? I was like, yes, thank you. We had the travel gods on our side. The middle seat was open, laid her down, buckled her up, and it was a semi-smooth flight. She woke up a couple times coughing, but when she was asleep, it was much better. So, yeah, wish Brock was with me, but one of my biggest fears, again, I conquered. And I was happy that someone was at the house with the kitties the entire time. So that's the only reason he didn't come. And it was a fun trip. It was nice to just have some mother-daughter time. We had our own room. It was right next to my mom and dad's room, and it was great. We took a boat ride for a wedding reception that we were out there for. We just got pummeled on the catamaran trampoline thing. I mean, she had the time of her life, and it was a really good trip. Definitely core memory. Chickens running around all of Kauai, and it was beautiful. So I read something on Instagram that said vacations between the ages of 5 and 10 are like core memories that kids really keep with them forever. And I truly hope that she doesn't forget this trip. Because when I talk about Holland, I get it. She wasn't even 3 yet, but I'm like, you don't remember? How do you not remember that? And hopefully she'll remember London. I'm like, Summer, how many kids get to go to Hawaii and London in the same week? Like, this is crazy. You're living the rock star life. So, yeah. Anyways, that's why Brock wasn't there. Long-winded answer. Another Brock question. Have you been able to gain full trust with Brock, or is there still betrayal trauma there? I mean, I think when there's been a betrayal in your relationship, you can, of course, forgive. You're never going to fully forget. That experience just becomes part of your story, part of your emotional memory. And I will say, as time has passed, I think about it a hell of a lot less when we are intimate. It is not in the back of my mind anymore. Thank God. It's taken, 3 years to get there. I think EMDR has helped a lot. But, there are definitely moments where I do wish I could erase it completely and entirely and just get a lobotomy and take it out of my brain. But, I look at our wedding photos, I look back at old vlogs, and I'm like, wow, that was a time when everything was great. And I thought I had my happily ever after. And I had no idea, what he had done. Just like it does cross my mind. But, healing, it takes time. And it's not pretending that it never happened. It's learning how to move forward and not let it define every part of your relationship. So it has taken time, but I do think one of the biggest lessons I've learned is just, that like making the end goal 100% perfect, trust all the time is not realistic after a betrayal. Some days I feel very grounded, super secure, and other days there is something random that triggers me. Or I look at one of my pregnancy photos and I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe that as we took these photos, he knew what he did. And that happens, but sometimes those feelings resurface, and I think that's normal. I think that's always going to happen, but it does happen so much less. And I'm so thankful for that. I've had to learn, not to shame myself when feelings do resurface. It doesn't mean that I'm weak. It doesn't mean our relationship is failing. It just means I'm human, and trauma doesn't heal in just like a straight line. It comes, it goes, it ebbs, it flows. And I think what matters the most to me now isn't pretending those feelings never happen. It's how we navigate them together when they do. I vocalize it with Brock. I'm very honest. And I no longer expect perfection from myself. I don't expect perfection from him. I expect faithfulness from him moving forward. I expect honesty, consistency, accountability, emotional safety, all of those things. But I think rebuilding trust is really less about reaching some magical finish line, and it's kind of more about creating a relationship where both people continually show up for each other. And that's one thing that Brock has done time after time, even just missing out on a family vacation and staying back because we chose to get 3 cats. And I'm like, okay, I mean, yeah, we could pay someone to like stay at the house and be there. Like, we're already having to do that for London. He goes, I don't need to come to Hawaii. You just go with your family. And I mean, you know how Brock and my mom are. Anyways, it was probably for the best. But, so to go back to answering the question, yes, there are still moments of hurt and insecurity at times. I think that's always going to happen. But I also think that there's been so much growth, communication, and really just a deeper understanding between us now that maybe didn't even exist before. So yeah, okay. I also saw Lala's name a lot in the questions that I sent in. Ashley Markley, 89. What do you think about what Luke said on Watch What Happens Live about your beef with Lala? What made you hit your breaking point with her to the point that you didn't want to mend it? What happened with Lala? Can you re-explain why you and Lala aren't friends? Tell us what actually happened with Lala. Was she jealous over you making the New York Times list? What did you think about Lala's comments on Watch What Happens Live? What happened with you and oh my God, she bought a house next to you because you were close besties. What happened with our friendship? I feel like I have gone in depth about this with Kiki here on the podcast back in October. So I don't want to rehash all of that because it is something I have already talked about. Yeah, I think all of your questions will be answered there. So feel free to go back to that episode to get the full rundown. But since you're all asking here and wanting to know, let me just say this, okay? Now that we're at the end of May, which is also Mental Health Awareness Month, I just want to take a quick moment to specifically shine a light on maternal mental health because it's something so many women struggle with quietly and don't always feel safe talking about openly. I feel like things like this on the podcast are more important to talk about than past drama that I have already said. I don't want to take the time to rehash all of that because there are more important things to cover here today. And there's just so much pressure on moms to be everything for everyone while still appearing happy and grateful and put together all of the time, But it's like things like postpartum depression, anxiety, burnouts, intrusive thoughts, loneliness. I mean, those experiences are far more common than people realize. And struggling doesn't make someone a bad mom. It makes them human. And even though at times when we are struggling, we feel like we're a bad mom, we're just human and we are doing the best we can. And I just want to remind all of you parents out there, because I think it's really important that women know they're not alone. Asking for help is not weakness. I think that's actually something that takes a lot of strength to admit and to ask for help. And I just think maternal mental health, I mean, it deserves so much more conversation, support, compassion than it often gets. And, if you guys want to know how I feel about another mom, I just want to tell you how I feel about all the moms. And leave it at that. All right. Lots of questions about me coming back to TV. How long do you plan on being away from reality TV? We need you back on TV. What's the plan? Any plans to come back to TV soon? I just miss you so much on my screen. Podcast's not enough. Ooh, okay. Well, TBD, but let's just say it's in the works. So stay tuned. And I hate when people say that. And here I am saying it, but it's just not time for me to go into that in more depth yet. When was the last time you spoke to Marciano? That would be the last night of BravoCon. And he rudely came to the bar that I was at and tried to give me this attitude like, yeah, when you're ready to talk, I'll be over there. And I was just like, honey, handle your boy. And he did. And then he left. Haven't talked to him since. What are your thoughts on Jessi Marciano going red carpet official this week? Okay. I mean, I saw the interview. She did say, you know, she's still single. She was just there with him as her date. And look, first of all, I fully support a woman's right to be imperfect, to be messy, because she's still human, you know, especially in situations where she's navigating heartbreak, change, you know, a major life transition, going through a divorce, you have kids. I mean, there's a lot in it. I mean, the way I feel like is men in entertainment, they have been allowed to be messy for decades. You know, they don't nearly get judged as much as women. And I mean, just look at how many opportunities someone like Tom Sandoval continues to receive publicly versus the backlash Raquel faced. I mean, the double standard is very real. But with that said, of course, I want more for Jessi. She is in a vulnerable place right now. She's coming out of a separation, going through a divorce, trying to rebuild her life emotionally, personally. And I think she deserves stability, honesty, someone who genuinely protects her peace, isn't just chasing the spotlight. But at the end of the day, you know, I support her regardless of who she chooses to let into her life. That is on her. But honestly, I can really empathize more than people may realize. Anyone who watched season 6 of Vanderpump Rules, I mean, you guys saw me jump from like almost immediately, like the ink wasn't even dry on the divorce, into another relationship. And looking back, like it was toxic. It wasn't the best. It was I deserved so much more at that time, and I deserved to give myself more time. But at that time, I was searching for validation, for comfort, for a distraction, like all of these things I was looking for in a person who felt safe. It was someone that I knew, that I had a history with, and there were so many cringe moments, you guys, as you know. I don't have to remind you. But I also learned a lot from that experience about myself and my patterns and what I do genuinely deserve in relationships. I also think people underestimate how difficult dating is when you're on a reality show. I can't imagine how the Kardashians, when they date someone new, it's just like it's a lot. And most like emotionally healthy people, you know, normal people don't exactly dream of having their private lives dissected on national TV, especially when they aren't even getting paid for it. So on the flip side, if someone does want to date you while you're on a show, you naturally start questioning their intentions. You know, are they here for you? Are they here for exposure, attention, the opportunity? These are all reasons why I never got on a dating app, because I'm like, people are just going to sweat. Oh, Scheana Shay, like I can get on a show. And I think a lot of times people end up dating within their own reality TV or entertainment circles because they're the only people who understand that lifestyle and what it comes with. I know in my single days, I was there too. You know, I had my share of the Southern Charm Summer House, but that also creates this very small, incestual dating pool where boundaries can get blurry and history just gets complicated really fast. So, I don't know. It's messy, but I just want the best for her. Did you actually tell Marciano to lie about sleeping with Jessi to make Demi look better? Oh, no, no, no. Okay, so I haven't even watched Vanderpump Villa, but trust me, enough people have sent me that clip. I get the gist. No, absolutely not. And honestly, I don't even think Marciano believed the story he was telling. So, like, I'll just say this. Scripted television may not be his calling, okay? The only reason I was ever even aware of anything with Marciano and Jessi in the first place is because Marciano himself told me they slept together. He told Brock they slept together. He came back to my house that morning after we both knew where he went. He showed us the text from Jessi saying Jordan was cool with it. Come to my room. Like, so then of course we're going to ask when he gets back in the morning. He's like, yeah, tells us everything that happened. And we have talked about this on the podcast before. I've also discussed this privately with Jessi. But Marciano, he claimed it happened. Jessi denied it. Then later, all of a sudden, Marciano changed his story. But also, I want to point out that Marciano called me and told me that he lied about kissing Demi at Vanderpump Villa because he was trying to protect Jessi. And on that phone call with him, I said I was beyond disappointed with him that he could do that to a woman, a mother, a husband. I was so disappointed in him. I pulled the mom card and was like, what does your mother think? And he was like, she's not happy with me. And I'm like, that for me was it. Like, I didn't need another duplicitous Tom Sandoval in my life. I don't think I should have straight men as close friends after that. It really hurt me because I also was building a close friendship with not only Jessi, but also Demi. And for him to then go and lie about one of them because things with him getting on the show didn't work out the way he wanted to. He wanted to get on the show via Demi. And then when that didn't work and she didn't want to do the show anymore, he's like, well, I guess I'll go back to Jessi and I'll lie about Demi. He did this. So look, it's messy, it's gross, but he is just a liar, and that's why he's not in my life anymore. But yeah, look, at the end of the day, that's their situation to sort through, not mine. I'm sure people are here listening like, why are you talking about everyone else and not yourself? I'm going to get back to myself, okay? But people are asking these questions, so here we are. And yeah, Marciano doesn't exactly have a ton of credibility with me at this point. And last thing I'll say about this, it is wild to me that if Jessi felt like Marciano, he lied about her publicly and said that they slept together, to let him back in such an intimate way where I'm sure they are now currently sleeping together. It's like, it's just wild to me because I'm like, who was lying? Was Marciano lying or were you lying? And now I'm just, either way, between them, it's between them at this point. It's not my circus, not my monkeys, and wish her the best. I do. I want her to be happy. She deserves happiness. And yeah. Did you talk to Stassi Schroeder at that Disney event? I did, actually. We had a nice conversation. And honestly, I love seeing her in that kind of environment with her kids, like fully in mom mode. That is my favorite version of Stassi. And it is nice to see that chapter of her life in person, on TV, just that softer, more grounded side of her. I love to see it. So, yeah. Have you ever seen Dark Side Danny in person? I was at that Halloween party, I'll say that. What did you think about Lala versus Danny's situation on the Valley? Not gonna lie, y'all, I'm like 3 episodes behind. I've been traveling and I've been trying to just keep up with Summer House in Rhode Island that I have been behind on the Valley. So I think I have 2 or 3 episodes to catch up on, so I don't have any input in that because I have not seen it yet. Are there any real storylines in Vanderpump Rules that were completely made up? Read the book. Favorite season of VPR to film? Season 10, minus the Scandival stuff. Obviously, we didn't know any of that was happening when we were filming. But season 10 with Brock and Summer and Mexico and all of that was so fun. Thoughts on Allie on Perfect Match? You know what? I do have thoughts on Allie on Perfect Match. And I just want to say she is a single 30-year-old woman out of an abusive, toxic relationship who is on a dating show, living her best life, and did nothing wrong. Okay? Were there cameras there? Was drinking involved? Of course, sure, she knows she's being filmed, but also, she's also allowed to make mistakes. She's allowed to be messy. She's allowed to hook up with multiple people if that's what she wants to do on the dating show. I think that you're just seeing a different side of her that I have seen, I love and adore, and I think she was having fun. She was living her best life. And I think it was really shady of Hashim to call that out in front of everyone. That was beyond inappropriate. Whether that was production pushed for him to do or not, I think that was so uncalled for. it's one thing if it happened and the show shows it, you sign that away, things are going to be shown that maybe you're not going to be proud of in the edit. That's one thing. But for a man to call out what he and a woman privately did in a bedroom, I will never be okay with. The fact that E! News highlighted that on Instagram, not okay with. But you know what? I told Allie, I said, girl, lean in, okay? Sometimes you're a Charlotte. Maybe sometimes you're more of a Samantha. So I thoroughly enjoyed watching her just live her single best life. And I hope this just opens up the door to more opportunities for her. And the last thing I want to say on this is I am so proud of her to put herself out there on the biggest streaming platform there is and to just go in and be the version of herself that she wanted to be, to learn from it, to make mistakes, to be vulnerable, to be open, to pack up her entire life in LA, move to Charleston. I mean, it takes a lot of guts to do the things that she's done getting out of that toxic relationship. And as one of her closest friends, I could not be more proud of her. I know that certain things that have aired on the show, they're not easy for your family and people to watch, but I've just reassured her that she didn't do anything wrong. And anyone who wants to slut shame on you. And before we even get to the Jaxhole, it's you, Hashim. You are my Jaxhole of the week. Shame on you. Okay. Let's go to Summer House. Thoughts on Carl not being included on In the City? I think the good thing about a show like In the City is it can create a landing pad for those stories from Summer House to evolve with the audience. And I think if there are more seasons, I'm sure we will see Carl's story expand there because it makes sense, or maybe somewhere else. It's like the New York Valley. There's 3 people that started on that show, and now there's more from Vanderpump Rules. And TBD where that goes, but I do think it would be weird to never see Carl on In the City. But then also, it's going to be weird to not see the OGs on Summer House. So I don't know what is going on with that. I have not been able to watch the reunion yet. It was on last night. I was at a girls' dinner, and I need to watch it today on Peacock. So thoughts on Amanda telling Sierra to fuck off? Whoa. Okay. I don't know about that, but I have seen a couple clips online, and based off some of those and just the discourse I've seen circulating, I definitely have thoughts and have questions. I mean, woof. And the way it ended with Sierra saying what she said and Wes kind of sitting there nodding. Yeah, I cannot wait to watch it. But I'm also wondering what exactly is ear stuff, because I guess West tried to minimize things with Sierra by saying they only did ear stuff after Andy pointed out they were making out in the finale. I don't know. It came across very dismissive and kind of degrading, if I'm being honest. Again, haven't seen the whole thing. These are just clips I've seen, but there's like this undertone where he continuously seems reluctant to fully claim or validate Sierra publicly, and I don't like it. It's just like he's trying to almost downplay the connection in a way that protects his image, and it leaves her hanging out to dry. I don't like it, and respectfully, West is just a regular guy from the Midwest. Sierra is a literal supermodel, and in no universe should this man be acting like he's the prize while like subtly diminishing her. Like, no, sir. Also, I can just add you to the Jaxhole list. Hashim, West, you're my Jaxholes for the week. And also, okay, another thing, I did see a clip on TikTok. Are people really buying the timeline that Wes and Amanda, genuinely, that they didn't sleep together until after the statement? Because that just doesn't add up for me either. They said their first kiss happened sometime in March. Okay, but then how did Dave Portnoy apparently know or speculate about them at the Super Bowl, which was in February? And are we supposed to believe he just suddenly morphed into Raven Baxter over there, getting visions of the future? I don't think so. And I mean, we're expected to believe they didn't sleep together until after the joint statement. Like, come on, please. The way Amanda immediately just like jumped in and was like, after the statement, it just, come on. I mean, people don't typically coordinate and release those relationship type of statements together if there's absolutely nothing happening behind the scenes. Like, let's be real. So, I don't know if this is the tone of the rest of the reunion, if that's like the way it's going to go. A lot of technicalities and timeline gymnastics and selective storytelling. Honestly, that's disappointing. 'Cause you know, at a certain point, it stops feeling like taking accountability and it just starts feeling like a spin. And viewers can tell the difference, you know, they're not dumb. So, all right, a couple more things to wrap it up, and I got to pick up my kid from school. Advice for dealing with social anxiety or OCD. Honestly, talking about it, being vocal about how you're feeling in the moment really does help because I promise you, when you open up about these type of things, 9 times out of 10, you're going to get a me too response. Oh my God, me too. I feel that way. I go through this. So it really has helped me just opening up to family, to friends, and to all of you, to people I don't even know. I have people stop me when I'm out in public and just say thank you for talking about it on this podcast, in my book, because it really helps people feel less alone. So my advice is to vocalize it as best you can. How do you handle getting so much hate? I usually just try and stay out of the comment section and pray for the people who hate me, because if you knew me, you wouldn't hate me. How does it feel being in your 40s? Feels good. It's one thing I say on a lot of cameos that I get for people entering a new decade of life. It's a lot of 30-year-old cameos I've gotten recently, and I'm like, you guys, okay, 30s, best years of my life, the best decade. I feel like 40 is the new 30, and if 30s were that good, I mean, there was also some hiccups, but like 40s are going to be that much better. So I love it, and yeah, living my best life. Oh my God, this is so funny. I swear to not see this before. Any life advice to someone who just turned 30, married with 2 kids, how to thrive in your 30s? 30, flirty, and what is it? And 30, flirty, and thriving? Is it 13 going on 30? 30, flirty, and thriving. Something like that. Any advice? Live it up. You know, you're already doing better than me. I was divorced with no kids when I turned 30. Just enjoy all of this time while you're young and you have energy with your kids. Travel if you can. So, congrats to you. And last 2 questions are music related. Are your new tracks all about Lala? I can't tell. What is your music writing process? Well, I will say that every song I wrote was inspired by someone who you would know. The process for me writing is, I have an idea about what I want to write a song about, like lessons. Obviously, I think it's pretty obvious where that inspiration came from. So I sit down with the guys and I'm like, I want to do a song about learning lessons. I want to take accountability. I want to say, that I know I'm the one to blame for my mistakes and I regret things that I said, and I give them ideas, and then we work on lyrics together, and then I'm like, ooh, what if I say it this way? And then Kevin and he plays guitar for me but also produces all of the music that I do with the 27s. We had a separate session, just the 2 of us, with lessons, and there were a couple parts where I'm like, this isn't sitting right with me. The way that the guys had part of the bridge was like, we won't be the way we were before. And I'm like, maybe we won't be, but I don't like having that negative connotation in the song. I'm like, how about we change it to, can we be the way we were before? And that just changed so much of the vibe of the song for me. So it is a collaborative effort, but I'm the final boss. I have final say. And I try to make everything rhyme at the end. I do like when it's cohesive in that way. I think that's for my OCD. So yeah. Oh wait, one more. Is there still a way I can get an autographed copy of your book? yes, I do believe there are still some available on Premiere. If you go to www.premiercollectibles.com, I can drop a link in my stories this week or in the description of this podcast because I signed thousands of them. So there's got to still be some available. But thank you all for listening. I'm off to London tomorrow to perform at Mighty Hoopla. I'm so excited. I might possibly be taking a break on the podcast, but I'm going to bring my stuff with me. So it might be a break from YouTube, but we'll have something for audio. And I'm going to do a podcast with Summer soon. Before bed recently, she's been wanting to do 20 questions. And I said, can we do 20 questions, but on Mommy's podcast? So I'm going to bring my equipment with me and see if Brock and I can do some fun London shenanigans with Summer. And if we are going to do that, I will post if there's any questions you want me to ask my daughter. I think that would be really cute and fun as well. And yeah. Can't wait. Festival. It's going to be so much fun. It's going to be good as gold. And I will say I would love to move out of my good as gold era after these performances. I have a new project that I'm working on, and I'm going to be sharing some more of that on the podcast soon. That's all for me. Just a reminder that my Jack's holes of the week are West and Hashim. Thanks for listening.